what if I told you that you already have a tool that can solve almost any mystery? From why your bread gets moldy to which batteries last the longest. Well, you do. And it's the exact same tool scientists use to make incredible discoveries. Today, we're going to break down exactly how you can use it in your everyday life. It all starts with something you've probably seen 100 times in your own kitchen. You leave some bread out, and boom, that familiar green fuzz appears. But have you ever stopped to notice that if the bread is even a little bit damp, the mold seems to just explode overnight? That simple question, hey, why is that, is the real starting point for some of the world's most amazing discoveries. So our first case is officially set, the mystery of the moldy bird. We're going to use this super common kitchen problem to walk through a powerful, structured method for finding reliable answers to, well, pretty much anything. It might seem random, but it's really not. There's a clear reason it happens, and there's a way to figure it out with certainty. This is a process that moves us beyond just guessing and into the realm of actually knowing. And that process? Well, it's incredibly powerful. And that process, that amazing puzzle-solving tool, is the scientific method. I mean, this is the very bedrock of how we understand the world, from the tiniest little particles to the largest galaxies. And yeah, even to why our bread gets all fuzzy. So what is it exactly? Well, at its core, the scientific method is just a structured, logical process. Think of it like a recipe for turning a simple observation, a curiosity, or a problem into knowledge that we can actually prove, share, and then build upon. The easiest way to think of it is as a 6-step roadmap, and it guides you from a simple question all the way to a reliable answer. So let's grab our detective hats because our investigation begins right now. We're going to apply each and every step to our moldy bread mystery and see exactly how it all unfolds. All right, our investigation starts now, step by step. Okay, so every great investigation starts with a great question. But here's the key. The question has to be something you can actually test and measure. It can't just be a vague, why does mold grow? It needs to be something more specific. So for our case, we refine our curiosity into this very specific question. Does keeping bread in a more humid environment cause mold to grow faster than in a dry one? See how that's specific? We can actually test humidity, and we can definitely measure the speed of mold growth. Next up, we form a hypothesis. Now, don't let the fancy word fool you. This is just an educated, testable guess. It's our proposed answer to the question. And a really great way to structure it is by using an if-then statement. So our hypothesis becomes this. If a slice of bread is kept in a very humid bag, then it will get moldy faster. You see how that works? It's a clear, direct prediction. And most importantly, it's something we can actually go and test. All right, now for the really fun part, the experiment. This is where we put our hypothesis to the test. But, we can't just throw some bread in a bag and call it a day. To get a reliable answer, we need what's called a controlled experiment. And that means we really need to understand our variables. So to run a fair test, we have to know about 3 types of variables. First up is the independent variable. That's the one and only thing we intentionally change to see what happens. Next, you've got the dependent variable. This is what we measure to see the effect. And finally, and this one is super important, we have the control variables. These are all the things we have to keep exactly the same to make sure our results are legit. So let's apply this to our bread experiment. The independent variable, the thing we're changing on purpose, is the amount of water we spray. The dependent variable, the thing we're going to measure, is how fast that mold grows. And our controls? Oh, they are absolutely crucial. Same type of bread, same kind of bags, same room temperature. This is how we make sure that any difference we see is only because of the water and nothing else. Okay, so our experiment is officially running. Now what? Well, step 4 is all about collecting and analyzing the data. This just means we're carefully observing and recording everything that happens in a really organized way. No guesswork allowed here, just the facts. A simple log just like this is perfect. We check the bags every day and we write down exactly what we see. And would you look at the data coming in? By day 3, the dry bag has nothing, but the very damp bag already has several spots. By day 5, the trend is crystal clear. The data is literally telling us a story. Okay, with our data all collected, it's time for the moment of truth, the conclusion. This is where we look at our results and we compare them directly back to our original hypothesis. Did the evidence actually support our educated guess? And in our case, the answer is a resounding Yes, our data clearly shows that more moisture directly led to faster mold growth. This means our hypothesis was supported. We have successfully moved from a simple guess to an evidence-based conclusion. How cool is that? And the final step, and this is one that's so important in the world of science, is to communicate your results. You share what you did, how you did it, and what you found. This allows other people to learn from your work, to test it themselves, and to build upon it. And that right there is how knowledge grows. So, we've cracked the case of the multi-bread. But just to show you how incredibly versatile this method is, let's apply the exact same 6-step roadmap to a completely different problem, a classic chemistry experiment. Look at how perfectly this fits. Question: does temperature affect the vinegar and baking soda reaction? Hypothesis: if the vinegar is warmer, the reaction's going to be stronger. Experiment: mix baking soda with cold, room temp, and warm vinegar. Data: watch and see which balloon inflates the fastest. Conclusion: the balloon with the warm vinegar inflated fastest. Hypothesis confirmed. See? It's the same logical flow, which just proves how universal this whole process really is. So, we've solved two completely different problems with the exact same 6 steps. But why is this so important? What's the big takeaway here? Because here's the thing, the scientific method is so much more than some checklist for scientists and lab coats. It's a mindset. It is a powerful tool for critical thinking that you can apply absolutely anywhere. I mean, in a world that is jam-packed with opinions and misinformation, this method gives you a way to find out what's actually real. It teaches you how to separate fact from fiction and how to solve problems logically. So the next time you notice something curious, why certain plants grow better in one spot, or why one brand of battery really does seem to last longer than another, remember you have the tool to find a real, provable answer. The only question left is, what everyday mystery are you going to solve next?